Welcome one, welcome all, back to Game Time. As always, I'm your lavishly good-looking host, Kyle. Anyway, welcome back to Atari Week as well. We got a special week here on Game Time, taking a look at various Atari videos I've been wanting to do for a while, just all grouped together in one week's worth of videos. Although it's a little misleading because there's only, I think, 4 of these videos. So anyway, we're rounding out Atari Week 2 here on the channel with some series I've been doing almost since the beginning of this channel called Fantastic Four Games. And again, no, it's not the Marvel superheroes Fantastic Four. Not them. I like them, but it's not what this is about. I take a look at 4 particular games for a particular console. A lot of these have been Ataris in the past, but they've always been Atari 2600s. Now we got Atari 7800s. So I'm going to recommend a couple games for you, and we're going to play about a minute or 2 of them just to show off what they look like and why I like them. And maybe you'll like them too. These are videos I like to see on YouTube, and just kind of showing off some gameplay and talking about why they like playing the games. Those are videos I like, and that's what we're doing. So on this video I have 4 games here. 3 out of 4 are original released 7800 games from back in the day, although I did cheat just a little bit, and I got one that's more modern, homebrew or hack of a game. I'll show that to you here in just a moment. But sit back and enjoy a moment of gameplay from Choplifter. Food Fight, really probably my favorite game on the 7800. Toppler. We've seen this previously on the channel, but in a different form. And the one I'm going to cheat with just a little bit, the Pac Man Collection. This is what you can get through AtariH.com, this online store where you can buy modern homebrews and hacks and repros of Atari 7800, 2600, 5200, Jaguars even on there. And this is kind of an interesting, this is a collection of various Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man games, mazes, various variations of those games. So I was going to do a video on this separately, but why not? It's a brand new favorite, and I thought I'd include it on this video. So everyone sit back, relax, and see some great 7800 games in action. Alright, the first game, there it is, Choplifter. This is Atari 7800, Fantastic Four games. It's 1987. This is, it's going to be a little unique. This game is actually on various platforms. I know probably the best version that I know of is on the Sega Master System. I assume this game's also on the NES and consoles of the era. I forget if it was, oh, that was a bad start. If it was on the 2600 or not. It might be some sort of port. But I like playing on this Atari 7800. It feels very much like a classic Atari game. You're basically this chopper. You're avoiding the tank fire like I didn't do the first time. And in these buildings, there's going to be people coming out of the buildings. You have to try to... shoot. You have to try to... land, pick them up, you know, they'll get in, and you have to fly back to the base where I just started from, all while dodging tank fire. And obviously this is the first stage. Later on, there's other things that are in the sky shooting you down and whatnot. So it gets pretty challenging. You kind of have to pick when you get up and take off. So I got a few people here I'm going to take back to the base. Now, what's weird with this version is the chopper... I don't know why it just doesn't turn around, it doesn't rotate. So when you're going back to the base, you're flying backwards. It looks kind of weird. I don't get it, but that's the last guy there. He waves at you, letting you know everyone's safe in the base. I can go back. It may seem a little bit boring, but it definitely does ramp up in difficulty a little bit later. And it's one of those, too, where you have to kind of manage your resources and stuff pretty well if you want to pick up, risk staying out and picking up a couple more survivors, risk getting the tanks coming at you, or pulling out of nowhere like that. That wasn't really fair, but you kind of get the idea. It's a fun little game, and like I said, there's various there's versions of this on various other consoles, but it just seems a little bit more like a classic Atari game to me, and I like playing it on the 7800, so it's a good fit and a good recommendation. Alright, this one's a little bit more interactive and actually probably one of my favorite games on the 7800. If I had to pick one, it would probably be this one. Food Fight. Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, and Expert. So there's 4 levels of difficulty. I'll just do Intermediate here. We'll start on level 1. But basically we're this guy here on the right. And we go around. We can pick up food and throw it at enemy chefs who spawn out of those little loops you see on the screen. Aiming is a little tricky, but the more you hit them with the food, the more points you get. Or you can just go straight to the ice cream. You do have to eat the ice cream that's on the opposite side of the screen before it melts. So you kind of have to pick and choose whether you want to go for lots of points or straight to the ice cream for probably even more extra points here, because we'll have more of said ice cream. But watch out, those chefs throw food right at you. Barely dodge that. And again, much like Choplifter, I don't need to play too much of this. It's pretty self-explanatory. You kind of see, oh, that's a close one. And you can also fall down pits like so you have to be careful. We wouldn't think they'd get in the way too much, but you'd be surprised. They kind of cornered me in that one. So I think fans of kind of fun little arcade games like that, pick and choose whether you want to get a few more points at the expense of maybe less points for your ice cream. The more food you have on the screen too. As you can see, once you get hit by a chef, they have to tag you in order to get the game over there. Or unless they throw some foods at you, but go down there. That was a successful run. Get the ice cream. And I have plenty of food left over. Lots of bonus points on that one. That was a good run. So you can get the gist of it. Really is one of my favorite games for the Atari 7800. Maybe my favorite. It's definitely unique and something that's only available on this system. Alright, our next game we're going to take a look at is a little ditty called Toppler. Fans of the channel might recognize I actually did this one on a Commodore 64 plug-and play a while back ago. Definitely on my channel I have lots of playlists. Check out the Commodore 64 playlist, and did a little plug-and play, and we played a lot of this game on here because it's pretty unique. So basically we're this little green dude, and we're kind of going around dodging obstacles. We can shoot little balls of ice. We're trying to get to the top of the tower, all while dodging these obstacles. That balloon we were able to pop. This you have to be careful, as you slide down. And you have a certain time limit, as you see at the top of the screen. So I'm just going to do that real quick. You can get hit, you can't touch anything, so you do have to be careful there. And especially like that. Come out the other side. And, oh, I got hit again. Every time you're hit, you go down at least 1 or 2 little sections there. So you kind of have to plan when you're going to be coming out the opposite door. Plan a little bit ahead. I think we'll be okay. I don't think we took too much damage. This is pretty faithful port. I don't know if it was a Commodore 64 game originally, but it's similar to how it looks on the Commodore 64, so definitely some props to that. So you're going to have to learn what various things do. We're going to dodge that. I think this one goes out, so there's a trap right there. And again, a lot of it's trial and error. That just froze, so I won't be able to... Oh no, it went up. So you do have to kind of be mindful of that. So you kind of get the idea. With that hit, I don't think I'll make it to the top of the tower in time. But that's right, because we'll get a couple more lives, and, it is a trial and error game, so we'll give it another go again. But yeah, that's Tower Toppler, a fun, unique game for the Atari 7800. Okay, last but not least, like I said at the beginning of the video, a little bit of a cheat. This wasn't originally a 7800 game back in the day. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, it is 2006. This is a homebrew Pac Man game. But as you can see, you have various types of Pac Man, Miss Pac Man. So you got various things, and they'll have like invisible mazes or various versions of Pac-Man. There's Ultra Pac-Man, random mazes I kind of like. We'll even do that. Plus mode, makes the game harder. You can go a lot faster with fast mode there, off, on, etc. You can choose how many lives, what levels you start on, and you can up to 2 players on that one. So let's do a random stage. Now you can see here it's cherry, but we're starting on a random stage. Much better than how Pac-Man originally looked on the 7800. Not that much better, but they put a little bit more effort into the details and stuff. We don't have the ghost problem or anything. And it's a lot of fun to play. If you get a good joystick, I'm just using the normal Atari 2600 joystick. But looks and sounds really great, and I love the random mazes. Obviously, when I finish with this maze, it will go to another random maze. It's not going to be the same one, same repetitive one. So I'll show you that here. I'll just reset the game here right quick. Wrong reset button. Apologies. It's got the good old cool Atari logo. So yeah, it has Miss Pac-Man, 2 players in there, which is pretty neat. I even try to do the 2 players. I think the second player is actually might be Pac-Man. We'll see here in just a second. I'll get tagged out. But you can see fun little, pretty faithful arcade port. So I did that on purpose. Let's see. Player 2 is actually going to be Miss Pac-Man. So my bad. And you'll need a second joystick controller. So that's pretty much that. I think it's a pretty cool game. I reset, obviously start the stage over. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you have some great Atari 7800 games, feel free to leave them in the comments. This is just the first volume. I'll probably do a few more recommendations because I think it does have a pretty good library. Kind of suffered from having to compete with the NES and bad sound chip from their console from several years prior, but it's a fun system overall. I do enjoy it, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. This video is long enough. Thanks everybody for watching, subscribing if you've done so, liking the video, all the above. Definitely is not needed, but always appreciated. We'll see everybody in the next video. Take care all.